Hey, welcome to the big program, post-state tournament edition of the show. We got a lot of show today, but I wanted to start with some pretty cool news that came out today. Starting in 2022, New Mexico will have a chance to vote on having a shot clock. So the game might finally move into, modern times here in high school. I'm not thinking it's going to happen right away, because it's New Mexico. When do we ever get with the times, right? And besides, those southern teams have to have a chance, so we can't have a shot clock. So we'll see how that goes, but it'll at least be up for voting in the upcoming year. State tournament is in the rearview mirror, so this is the first program since the state tournament. People have been asking, so you're going to have Natalia, you're going to talk about Natalia's game winner? I said, hell no. We'll get to that, but we're going to have a Del Norte Knight on the show. I don't know if you heard, but the Knights are state champions of the world. Okay? And my guest is Shane Douma Sanchez of the Knights. Congratulations, man. You guys did it.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
What was going through your mind when you guys did that?
It was, a lot of relief because we felt, I know a lot of teams didn't really expect us to do that well, but we felt like we had a chance from the beginning.
Right. So let's go through the game a little bit. Well, let's talk about post-game first, man. You were pretty speechless when the announcer was down into the basket. But when you had a chance to recover a little bit, and when you were in the media room, you kind of talked about this journey, right? That started in Grants and playing with your dad and all that. But so talk about what was racing through your head post game when you had that championship around your neck and you guys had the trophy.
I felt very emotional because, well, my dad was in there with me. I was just looking at him most of the time because,
right.
I grew up in the gym with him at Grants when I was little. Just always wanting to be a part of his teams and. Just growing up with the team, it was very awesome to win them.
Right. So you guys went in as the #1 seed, and as I predicted 2 months ago, you brought home the trophy. So my prediction was right. But you guys, you guys gelled really well together. So talk about the chemistry on that team.
All summer long, we knew the talent we had, but it seems like near the end of the year or near the end of the season, it was like everything just started coming together. Like we started playing like nobody could touch us, and really, I think it had a lot to do with after we lost, we really came together as a team, and we were like, we don't want to have that feeling again, and we clicked at the right time.
Right, and what goes into that? Because you talked about playing a little bit during the summer, during the off year, but still, it still takes a little bit of magic to click like the way you guys did, and it seemed like it didn't matter who was going into the game. Whoever went in, someone was contributing. That's special. Talk about that.
Yeah, we had a lot of sophomores step up in the end, and I knew that they could because I've played with them growing up, but it felt good having them in there, and with our seniors, they really contributed every game, and I wasn't really surprised with their contribution, but when our sophomores stepped in, it really made me feel happy for them.
Let's talk about the game a little bit. Artesia, the #2 seed. Obviously that's probably not a team you guys have. It's been a while, right? Artesia, you played Artesia a couple of years ago, but I don't know if you were on that team.
Last year.
Oh, did you play them last year? Okay. So, but did you guys kind of know what kind of team they had coming into the tournament, or?
Yeah, we watched film on them twice, but we knew that we could get the job done when it really came down to it.
Right. So take us kind of through the game. Was it early jitters at the beginning? Did you guys what does Coach McIntosh tell you guys? What's his speech to get you guys ready for a big game like that? Take us into the locker room. What's his go-to?
He's talking about the legacy that we could build before the game, and we had the game plan the same 3 things as our game plan all year. It was just hard work, play harder, play together and play with intensity, and that's what we did, and we won.
Right. That's a game that, I mean, if Artesia doesn't shoot all those free throws, that's not even a game. You just run him out of there, right? So, I mean, you guys played very well from open to close, and again, you had a lot of contributions. So, you know, talk about the other guys, and just talk about the overall game, and everyone seemed to do their part again.
Yeah, our team going into that game, we were very confident. We really never felt like we were gonna like lose, honestly. But so everyone was confident going in. We all knew what was at stake and what we could do for our school, and we came together at the right time. And
did you guys kind of realize just how many Del Norte alums are around, right? Because I don't think people realize how old of a school that is. So when you guys do something this special, like there's a lot of people that went to Del Norte, right? Did you guys kind of start to realize that down the stretch there at the end of the season?
Yeah, I mean, well, we heard it from everywhere, you know. Everyone was like, every alumni was texting us or, you know, just letting us know that they were going to be at our game, or, you know, just like wishing us the best of luck, and we knew how important it was to them.
Well, we're going to go through some highlights here in just a moment, but actually let's go through those highlights first. We're going to talk through that. So take us through some of this, Judah. Or I'm sorry, Shane. It's going to start. I was going to ask you about Judah, and this will come up in a minute. Did you guys kind of have some? What was the mindset when Judah picked up that foul, that second, and then even the third?
I mean, it was scary because the one game we did lose, Judah picked up 3 early fouls exactly like that. But for the most part, we just had to keep our heads straight and just, you know, tell Judah not to pick up a third one, and he played through it very well.
And then you're just splitting through double teams. Like, I mean, like they've never seen anything like you, obviously, in Artesia, because, I mean, you had it working, man. Your whole game, you were splitting doubles. You had the runner game. Your floater, your runner's always going. You know, some long threes. How comfortable were you offensively out there? You looked incredibly comfortable.
Yeah, you know, I feel like I thrive in these moments, you know, playing in front of these many people, and I like this, you know. I was never like uncomfortable with my shots I took.
Have you ever been that open?
No, that's what I was saying. That was the most open shot I had all year, and
right.
I was happy to hit it, you know.
Let's fit in there. Of course, you see the end there, but yeah. So let's go back to that. I mean, you guys have had to play through adversity and some foul trouble before, right? But I mean, at the state tournament level, that's a little tougher, right? Were you frustrated at the beginning? Because obviously, in the first half, you guys are clearly the better team, but it is still a pretty tight game just because of the amount of free throws they're shooting. Were you frustrated with that? I mean, take us through that.
I wasn't really frustrated, but we, you know, at halftime we had a big talk. You know, just we got to lock down on D, but you know, it's not use our hands as much and just keep our man in front, and we would seal the deal, and ultimately that's what we did.
Right. Lastly, before we go to break here, but I mean the defense. Talk about it all year. It seems like, I don't know. This is just from an outsider. It seems like Coach McIntosh kind of gives you guys some freedom offensively, as long as everyone's all bought in on defense. Is that right?
Yes, sir. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I got in trouble a lot for letting my man blow by me, and but near the end, I feel like I did really good in state, especially. I feel like I kept my man in front of me pretty well. I played defense very hard, and so did my teammates. You know, it was nice having 6'6" and 6'5" in there. Just
right.
If they do get by me, to just, you know, send the shots. But yeah, defense is like our everything in Del Norte basketball.
We'll take our first time out. Come back with Shane right after this.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of Proview Networks.
Talk to State Farm agent Greg Shamus today.
Thank you to Greg Shamus for his support of Proview Networks.
Welcome back to the program. The champ is here. We're with Del Norte Knights, Shane Douma Sanchez. Shane, we talked about the game. Let's talk about overall, your team before we move on to some other stuff. Man, you and Judah, you guys play so well together. Where did that come from? Where did it start?
It started in 7th grade. We played on the same AU team together, and we just had that connection from the get-go, and it translated into high school. And we teamed up.
Right. And a lot of times when you got two guards that are on the ball, it looks like a forced fit, right? But it doesn't look like a forced fit with you guys. And your assist numbers, both of you guys show it, right? That you share the ball. So were there growing pains at all at the beginning, or have you guys always just played so well with each other?
Not at all. I feel like me and Judah trust each other no matter what. Like there's no one else in the world I'd rather have the ball and like that I trust more than Judah. Whenever he has the ball in his hands, and I feel like the same goes with him.
How much of a difference did having a big guy like X this year? I mean, how did that change your game? You guys are coming off those screens. Talk about his impact on the team.
X played huge this year, especially in the championship game. But throughout the season, having him to come set me a screen and roll or get every rebound, it was nice to have a 6'7" guy like him. 6'6".
And then you talk about. You and Judah get a lot of credit for being the best backcourt. Well, the best backcourt in 4A, that's for sure. But I think you can drop that 4A part. I think you guys are just that good. Okay. But then you put Feathers in that mix, man. When you got 3 guys in the starting lineup that are averaging over 50, that's hard to beat. So let's talk about that a little bit.
It was nice because Feathers. It took him a while to grow into our program, or not in our program, but like the role he took on this year.
Right.
And he did really well for his senior season, and I'm proud of him for that.
Let's go way back. Where did your athletic background start, and like what other sports did you play? At what age did you start playing?
I started playing basketball, whenever I was like baby.
Right.
Basketball always in my hands everywhere I go. But I played baseball and football growing up. I went to 2 World Series for baseball, and I was all right in football, but baseball was my main sport.
Okay, so that's pretty good. That's pretty big, right? So when did basketball kind of take over as your primary sport?
When I was in 6th grade, I was everyone was just telling me how good I was in baseball, but for some reason I just couldn't accept that. Like I didn't really love baseball like that. I loved basketball ever since I was little, and I wanted to do it full time, just get as good as I possibly could, so not have to it started becoming an issue whenever I had to miss basketball tournaments for baseball, and I don't really like that.
You see how much money baseball players are making these days?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, just checking.
It's just love for the game.
Just checking. All right, so you talked a little bit in your post-game press conference about growing up around the game in Grants. So take us through that. Obviously, your dad was the head coach there. So take us through those experiences as a young man there when his program was there.
Yeah, I think my dad has 3 or 4 Final Fours as a coach, and just growing up, going in the pit, being in the locker room, everything, just being with his team. They would travel all over the state to play basketball. I felt like that had a lot to do with my success now because without me being there, I don't think I accomplished as much as I've already accomplished.
So was it like your typical small town story where you start out as the ball boy, then you get a little taller,
yes,
and you're just always there, right? Like talk about how many hours you spend in the gym there.
I remember when I was little, just being in the gym with him every single time that he went, and I would ask him to stay a little while after he would leave, and he'd just leave me there and pick me up later on. It'd be late at night. But I'd just be there getting shots up on the gun and stuff.
So were your early dreams, early aspirations as a basketball player, were they to play in Grants there, obviously?
Yeah, Grants was like my everything when I was little. Like I wanted everything to do with Grants High School. I wanted all my glory to come out of there, but it doesn't end up as you want.
Right. So then you guys, well, let's talk about baseball a little more. I mean, you go to 2 World Series, so obviously you're pretty good. What position are you playing in baseball?
I was a pitcher and shortstop, but I was known for being a nice pitcher. Everyone was used to tell me how good I was. I was like our state player of the year and stuff, but yeah.
Did your dad ever steer you towards basketball, or did that just come naturally?
It came naturally. My dad wanted me to play baseball. When he was hurt whenever he found out I didn't want to play baseball anymore, but I love basketball.
Right. So when the move to Albuquerque, were you looking forward to it at first? Were you like, oh no, I want to be a Pirate? I mean, what was that like? When Dad says, hey, we're moving, what was that like?
I was hurt having to move away, but I met Coach McIntosh when I was in 8th grade, and I met all the guys, and I felt like that could have been a home for me, and it's been a home ever since.
Right. And so take us through that. Take us through that process of first day on campus, first day at practice with Coach Mack. What were some of your impressions of the school and the program?
I mean, well, you kind of know like the kids that go to Dunwoody, right? So I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of scary because, there's bullies at Dunwoody, and
I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, an upstanding citizen like me went to Dunwoody, so I don't know. What
well, how can I put this?
No, it's different. It's a huge campus. It's different. Absolutely, no doubt.
Yeah,
So you kind of a little bit of culture shock.
Yeah, culture shock definitely, because it was different getting there. Having your teammates yell at you and scream at you and stuff. I was not used to that, but I adapted.
So what about first practice, first impressions of the program and Coach Mack?
I knew Coach Mack was a good coach because prior to me being there, he already had 2-3 Final Fours.
Right.
So I knew what I was getting myself into because I knew he was a good coach off the rip, and my dad spoke nothing. He did nothing but praise about him. And
right. And why do you think kids like playing for Coach Mack? It seems like he really connects with kids. Well, what is it that, I mean, obviously the fact that he's young and he can probably still get on the floor with you guys. He says he still beats you guys. I don't know about that. No?
He knows he can't beat me.
No? But, I mean, that has to help him connect, obviously, as the younger age, right? But why do kids like playing for Coach McIntosh?
Because he genuinely has a love for the game. He's like us. It means a lot to him. Like I know there's some coaches that take seasons off if they have a bad team, but no matter what, he's one that'll try to make a push with whatever team he has, and I feel like he loves the game just as much as I love the game, so that's what made me connect with him personally.
Right. What does he do to kind of – his teams have always been so scrappy. They always play so hard, and they seem to always mesh together. What does he do to make that happen year in and year out?
Depending on the team he has, he knows how to manage and, get the best out of everybody. So, like, whenever you had those scrappy teams, it was like he used their physical and rough play to, like as an advantage against teams and like with our team,
because those were some scrappy teams. Like, let's be honest, there was no MJ on those teams. Just a bunch of Rodmans, right?
Yeah. He's a good coach, definitely. He knows how to bring the best out of everyone.
Well, what about playing for your dad, though? That has to be, at times, incredibly special and incredibly rewarding. But that has to have some tough times to it, also.
Yeah, I get yelled on the bench a little bit, but I've grown up him being my coach my whole life, so. It's nothing new.
Right.
Yeah.
How is that a hard separation to make? Like, when does it get switched off, and when are you just dad and son?
During the season, I'm not gonna lie, that doesn't really happen. But after the season, I know how much he loves me and how much he cares about me. But during the season, it's not like that. Yeah.
How much hoops are we talking at home? Like, is it nonstop hoops?
Oh yeah, at my dad's house, we got 7 mini hoops in all of our house. We got a real basketball goal in our living room. My little brother plays in there every day. I do too. Basketball is literally our everything.
What's the hardest thing about playing for your dad?
Nothing really. Nothing really.
Right. How special was that embrace that you guys had at the end of that game? I know you guys, it was a really long hug.
It meant the world for me. I mean, I know that championship meant a lot to Dalnorty, but to my dad, that meant the world. I've never seen him more proud of me in my life.
All right. We'll take our second timeout, come back with Shane right after this.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Talk to State Farm agent Greg Shamus today.
Thank you to Greg Shamus for his support of Proview Networks.
Back with state champ Shane Douma Sanchez. How good is that? Are you ever going to get tired of being called that?
No, I don't think I'll ever take this medal off either.
All right, let's talk about what I wanted to get into is, well, first of all, you had we were talking about Natalia's buzzer beater a little bit, but you had one earlier in the season, and this is a season where really you guys lose a game here or there, you could be on the outside looking in. You had a game winner against Valley. Talk about that.
I don't really remember much because it happened so fast, but what I can say is that was my first game winner, and it was probably the biggest shot I've ever hit in my life.
Right. And a nice little rivalry growing, and, to beat them, it's always fun to beat Valley, right?
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely nice.
Well, let's go back your freshman year a little bit. So you and Judah played a lot as freshmen. How do you think that led to your development and just how good you guys were this year?
Last year, first game, me and Judah weren't even sure we were going to get playing time. We were nervous, but in terms of state, last year I was nervous before our state games. I didn't even eat. But this year I was like, it was just like another game to me. I didn't really feel nervous at all whatsoever, and I feel like that's a big reason why we did so good.
How did his he's got that substitution pattern, right, where he gets you in and out pretty quick, so you guys can go all out on defense. Did it help you that you guys were already ready for that by seeing it all year last year?
Yeah, it really did because, there was not really a time where I was tired, and it was easy.
What was the change this year? Obviously, you guys knew you'd both be starting. You knew it'd be your team this year. So what was the change in mindset heading into the year?
Well, this year it was I really personally, I felt like however good I did is how good our team would do. So I really felt like I had to take it upon myself to lead our team and do a lot to contribute to win this year.
And when did you guys as players kind of realize yeah, we definitely got all the pieces here. This is a nice squad.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. Last year, me and Judo after the season, we were talking. We just got to get by this sophomore season because we thought it was gonna be our hardest year. We were just we just got to get by in junior season. We'll go win. But as the team came along, we over the season, we really were maybe we're better than we are, and we were pretty good this year.
Yeah, you were pretty good this year. That's true. So obviously now you got to start thinking about you guys have this window now because you guys are so young. You and Judah just sophomores. You don't lose a lot off that team. So when does the work begin for next year, and what does that look like in the off season?
I mean, for me personally, the work already started. 2 days. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I took a day or two off.
You're allowed to have a day or two off. Don't worry, Shane.
But I got right back in the gym. I've been starting my 4:30 a.m. workouts again.
Right.
Yeah.
So this year, or this next year, the problem is no one's going to be surprised at you guys, right? You will be officially, I would imagine you'd start the season as #1, and you'll be the hunted team the entire season. Does that make things a little different?
Not really. I mean, we know what we're capable of, and if we're confident and we play hard, and as a team, I feel like we're ready for what's to come.
So let's take us through those 5:30 workouts because that's as close to a workout at 5:30 I'll ever get because I don't even wake up that early. So tell us what goes through this 5:30 a.m. workout.
4:30. But
sorry.
But just the grind in the morning is different. If you can't grind in the morning, then.
So where's it at? What are you doing? What kind of reps? All that stuff.
I go to Dunlody Sports and Wellness. Well, I do basketball in the morning. Then after school, I lift and then basketball again. But 5:30 in the morning workouts, they consist of mostly just basketball skill work.
Right. And so, what's the for players that are watching this, the work that goes on in between seasons? I would you don't just get better by just showing up to practice and that's it, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of individual work. So what would you say you've improved the most from year to year, and what are you going to be working on in this off season?
I had to get my handles better for this season because I knew I was going to handle the rock a lot more than last year. Last year I was just a spot-up shooter, I knew coming in that I would have to take on a bigger role, had to work on pretty much everything, whether it was shooting off the dribble, dribbling in general, and you know, getting my teammates open. I did a lot of film work too, but wait, I'm sorry. What was the second question?
what's this year? What are you looking at improving this offseason?
Well, honestly, I gotta get bigger, stronger, and you know, I plan on doing that, and you know, just taking it day by day, getting better every day.
So have people started, you know, have you started hearing the word repeat? Have you started hearing the back-to-back already?
Yeah, already.
Is that a goal, obviously, heading into the season next year?
Definitely, it definitely is. And we feel like we can, as long as we just take care of our 3 goals, like always.
Right. And so when you have a foundation like that, does it ever really change, or you guys just know what's ahead of you? And
we know. Yeah, we know what's ahead of us, and we feel there's no one on our everyone on our team feels very confident about next season, and we really know what we are.
Right. Let's talk about individual stuff a little bit. Obviously, you know, a player that's your caliber has to be thinking about basketball at the next level, right? So tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, over the summer, I attended a couple camps, and you know, I've received interest from a couple D1 schools. I picked up my first offer from Mexico Highlands before the season, but yeah, I think about that. That's all I think about.
So what does that process start to look like as you know, as more schools are interested? What will go into making that decision?
Ultimately, what feels like home, and you know, I'd like to stay close to family, but we'll see.
Right. And Highlands plays in a, you know, we're talking about Coach Dominguez. Highlands, they play a pretty aggressive, nice offensive style of basketball that would suit your game. I mean, they get up and down the floor. Is that something that definitely appeals to you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't really know much about them yet.
Right.
I just, but yeah.
We talked about the shot clock a little bit during the introduction. I'm just curious of players' input. I can imagine, I know what you guys are going to say, because it usually doesn't take long for you guys to get shots up. Are you for a shot clock in high school?
I'm definitely for a shot clock in high school. You know, our team specifically, I feel like we'll get way more points up on the board. It'll be easier on defense, of course, because we don't have to sit there for a minute and a half waiting for a team to score, because that's what they did a lot to us this year. But I like the idea of a shot clock.
Right. So offensively, I wouldn't think much would have to change for you guys, right? Because you guys run your offense pretty quickly and efficiently anyway. Defensively, what changes, you know, what changes would you guys make, you think?
Defensively, I think the game will become easier to us, because we won't have to, like I said, we won't have to sit there and wait for it.
But Highland, you know, the Highland game comes to mind, right? They really tried to slow that down because they knew they probably couldn't hang with you guys.
Yeah.
That Artesia's traditionally a team that plays a little slower as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that shot clock would really benefit you guys, right?
Yeah, definitely. It definitely would. You know, I saw that'll probably come into play when we're seniors.
Right. They'll have a chance to vote on it for sure, yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
So what do you guys use a shot? Does Coach McIntosh use a shot clock now during practice? I know some coaches, especially teams that play as fast as you guys, or not really.
No, not really. No, not really.
All right. What I've always wanted to ask you during warm-ups, sometimes you have the cape on. Where did that start? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where did that start? Where did that come from?
That's just like my thing. I do. It makes me feel confident going into my game. You know, I feel like I'm just like that guy, you know, when I have my cape on.
Right. You are that guy. You are that guy. Thanks, Shane, for coming in.
Thank you.
We certainly appreciate it. Congratulations on the title.
Thank you,
and
sir.
thank you for watching, everybody. Good night.